Okay, Kipsters, it's Mr. Dudley here. Today I'm going to read through pages 18 through 32 with you just like last time. Follow along with me, please. The title of page 18, or the heading, is called Dwarf Planets. Dwarf planets are planet-like objects that are part of our solar system. They are much smaller than regular planets, and it's telling us here what the dwarf planets' names are. So we got Make. That's what that dwarf planet's called. We have Ceres here. Ceres. We have Pluto here. And we have Eris right here. So those are our dwarf planets. Let's go to page 19. This dwarf planet is shaped like an egg. It's called Haumea. Haumea. A dwarf planet can be round or egg-shaped like this planet. Unlike regular planets, dwarf planets may share their orbits with other space objects. So, regular planets like Earth, Venus, Saturn, and Mars, they have they have an orbit with the sun on their own orbit, but some dwarf planets have orbits with each other. That's important to understand. Let's go to page 20. The heading for page 20 is titled Amazing Planets. These planets are really out of this world. It says weirdest spin, Uranus. This planet spins on its side, rolling like a barrel instead of a top. Windiest weather, Neptune. Winds on Neptune blow much faster than Earth's strongest hurricanes. Longest lasting storm, Jupiter. The Great Red Spot is a hurricane on Jupiter. It has been blowing for more than 400 years. So these are all different characteristics of these three planets. Uranus has the weirdest spin, Neptune has the windiest weather, and Jupiter has the longest storm ever, a hurricane blowing for 400 years. Could you imagine? Let's go to page 21. Hottest planet, Venus. This is the solar system's hottest planet, even though it is not the closest to the sun. A thick layer of gas around Venus makes it super hot. Tallest mountain, Mars. Mars is the home of the solar system's largest volcano, called Olympus Mons. It's as tall as 3 Mount Everest stacked up. So we have a little illustration down here. This shows us Mount Everest. It's labeled, and then it shows us Olympus Mons. So it's showing us this so that we can see how much bigger Olympus Mons is than Mount Everest. What I want you to do now is go down to the below the video and look at the chart that I have given you that shows you the gist for the pages that we have just read. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to page 22, which is headed Moons Galore. Some planets like Earth have moons that travel with them. Moons are objects made of ice or rock that orbit a planet. Some planets have no moons. Some have many. Jupiter has more than 60. So it shows us an illustration here of Jupiter and 4 of its moons. So that is Jupiter, and then we can see the 4 planet-looking objects that are Jupiter's moons right there. Page 23. Saturn has a giant moon called Titan. It is one of the largest moons in the solar system. It is even bigger than the planet Mercury. So this is how big Titan is compared to the planet Mercury. And then it also shows us how big it is compared to the Earth's moon. Let's go ahead and move on to page 24. Our moon. Earth has only one moon. It appears large and bright in the night sky. Astronauts first walked on the moon more than 40 years ago. They left footprints in the dirt. There is no weather on the moon to wash or blow them away. Those footprints are still there. And then we have a little information box at the bottom that says space clues, weather, the changing conditions that can include temperature, rainfall, wind, and clouds. So that's just telling us what weather means. And we see here that Astronauts went on the moon more than 40 years ago, but since there's no weather on the moon, the footprints they left are still there. Let's go to page 25, which is a picture of astronaut Buzz Aldrin walking on the moon in 1969 as part of the Apollo 11 mission. So that's a picture of the astronauts over 40 years ago walking on the moon. Now, I again want you to go down below the video and check out the chart that I have made for you in the lesson that goes over the main idea and topics of the pages that we just read together. Now I'm going to move on to the next section, which is titled Exploring Space. That's the heading of this section. Scientists have many ways of studying planets. One is to visit them. Humans can't visit other planets yet, but we can send robots to explore them for us. A rocket blasts off from Cape Canaveral, Florida. It is heading to Mars. So all those humans, we can't go to planets and explore them. We can send robots to explore the planets for us. Let's go to the next page. Robots called rovers have been sent to Mars. The rovers carry cameras and tools. They can take photographs and videos too. The rovers send information back to Earth about what they see. This is a drawing of a rover on Mars. So that's what a rover would look like on Mars, exploring and taking pictures. Let's go to the next page. There are other ways to learn about planets too. Powerful telescopes allow us to see planets and moons even though they are far away. So this is a picture of a scientist looking in a telescope up into the night sky to look at the planets and moons through a telescope. Next, page 29. Space probes also collect information about planets. These spacecraft take pictures. They measure light and temperature too. With these tools, scientists make exciting discoveries about other worlds. What will we learn next? So this is a drawing of a space probe that flew near Jupiter. So that's not what it actually looks like in real life, but it's a drawing, so it looks very close to what that would look like in real life. Again, I want you to go to the chart below the video so that you can go over the topic and main idea of the sections that we just read together. I'm going to move on now to page 30, Stump Your Parents. So this is more of a fun section that will give us some different facts about each planet. Can your parents answer these questions about planets? You might know more than they do. That says the answers are at the bottom of page 31. I'm not going to go through each question with you. I want you to do that with either your parents or your friend, or maybe your little brother or little sister, or anyone else that you have around. I want you to go through numbers 1 through 7 with them if you get a chance to go through those with your friends and family. Then I'm going to go to this last page, which I will read because it has some different glossary terms that we should know after reading. So gas is something that has no shape or size of its own. Gas can spread out into the space around it. Gravity is an invisible force that pulls objects toward a planet or star. Orbit is the path an object follows around another object, such as a star. To reflect means to bounce back. A star is a huge ball of hot gas that makes heat and light. And weather is the changing conditions that can include temperature, rainfall, wind, and clouds. That is the last page that we will be reading together today. I want you to go back to your form, your lesson, and continue on answering the rest of the questions. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.